The thing is, everyone wants to be the new Clarendon. Potomac Yard wants to be the new Clarendon. Crystal City wants to be the new Clarendon. Why not be the first national landing? How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. My name is Matt. That is Shawn, and welcome to our show. Shawn, Thursday, November 19th, we are 1 week away from Thanksgiving. We did it. We made it to the holidays. How do you feel?
We made it, man. I feel pretty good. I mean, we've been going through a lot this year, but all in all, things are good. I'm loving this new studio you're doing here. I mean, new mics. Check this out.
Couple upgrades to the studio. So, obviously, one significant incident has taken over the 2020 world. But this time last year, the biggest news in Arlington and the D.C. area was the, of course, World Series victory by the Nationals. And 2 years ago, the biggest news in November of 2018 was a small little company that sells books online called Amazon.com. You might have heard of them.
I did, yeah.
That shows Arlington and New York City, Long Island City, as the new HQ2. And that shook the waves of the Arlington real estate market. We were getting unsolicited phone calls from California area codes and Arizona area codes where we don't usually pick up because we know they're salespeople, but these were buyers that wanted to buy condos sight unseen and wanted to buy houses and wanted to invest in the 22202, which is now known formerly as Crystal City, now as National Landing. So
it's true.
2 years.
It's been 2 years. That's crazy. And it's been a wild ride. I mean, at first we didn't know what to expect. We were hoping that good things were happening, and man, did it skyrocket. I mean, it took off for us. And, I think now that we're kind of in where we are, it's taken a little bit of pause in certain markets, which I guess we're going to go over today. But, yeah, the whole Amazon HQ2 definitely changed our market for the better in so many ways.
Change it for the better for who? For buyers or sellers?
Yeah, that's who you talk to. For
all
sellers,
relative,
sellers
right?
Are loving it. Buyers, man, we've had to change our tactics completely on how we represent buyers. We've had to learn how to waive contingencies or get around contingencies, do appraisal waivers or do pre-inspections. There's so many things that we had to learn in the last 2 years on how to represent our buyers and get our buyers to be able to do those things or have the confidence to do those things. And it's taken, the loss after loss after loss of contracts to have the confidence to say, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm willing to waive my appraisal. I'm willing to waive my finance contingency. I'm willing to do a pre-inspection or waive that inspection entirely. So,
yeah, and what we're going to go over is numbers compared to Amazon HQ2 because it's really interesting because obviously right in Aurora Highlands, right in Arlington Ridge, right in the single-family home neighborhoods in 22202, we saw huge demands and lots of all-cash offers, and inventory, I'm just reading the article from Realtor.com, has dropped 32%, single-family house inventory, 32% since Amazon HQ2 for single-family homes in Arlington County. And it's interesting because, I still get phone calls this year and this month from buyers and sellers asking about how is Amazon HQ2 affecting the market. And right now, it's not. It's not. Amazon HQ2 affected the market for a period following November 2018 and into the 2019 market. But I feel like, and looking at the statistics, that it is a blip on the radar. It drastically lowered the inventory in Arlington in late 2018, and it helped out the 2019 market if you're a seller. But now with everything that's gone on in 2020, we can no longer look at Amazon HQ2 and be like, wow, this is really taken over the Arlington market.
Yeah, it's completely changed. 2020 has taken the the life out of what was HQ2 in a lot of areas. You know, and it depends on what segment you're looking at. If you're looking at the Arlington condo market, you know, we've gone over this before, but right before or right as HQ2 announced, there was very little on the market. And we were looking at the whole Roslyn-Ballston corridor as 2, 3, 4 condos for sale. That was it, you know?
Right.
And then as 2020 progressed and everything that we've gone through this year, we saw low inventory until probably mid-July. And then July, everybody decided to sell their condo. And guess what? The buyers just weren't there anymore. You know, the condo living, I guess, wasn't what they wanted. And so we have seen stacks and stacks of condos come on, and the buyers, they're still there, right? They're still buying here and there, but for the most part, it has completely stopped and slowed down that market.
And compare 2020 numbers to 2019, so, you know, just 1 year ago, year over year, inventory is up 106% in the condo sector.
That's insane.
So if you have a couple buyers buying here and there, it's not really going to make a dent. You know, I'm out showing properties at the Odyssey, one of the best buildings in Arlington, and there's 3 one-bedrooms to choose from, and they're all sitting on the market, something that would have never happened in 2019. And I was doing some research on the Atrium one-bedroom market. You know, I don't want to say a cookie-cutter unit and cookie-cutter building, but it's, you know, a one-bedroom, 700-square-foot floor plan. The last 5 one-bedrooms that sold in this community, the average days on market was 3. 3 was the average days on market. So if you're on the market for 4 days, you are increasing that average days on market. So it's just like insane to think about that in 2019, the average days on market for these last 5 one-bedroom condos was 3 days.
We lived it, you know, every time. We knew what was going to happen. And, you know, 3 or 4 days, 5 days was maximum because, you know, you're going to push contracts to Monday or Tuesday. You're going to review about 10, 15 contracts. You're going to get an amazing deal. And then all of a sudden, the complete opposite, right? We went through an amazing time, and then the faucet just shut off. And so now, if you're a buyer in the Arlington condo market, you can get a deal. There are very few showings for any of the listings up and down the line. I talk to agents all the time. We all say the same thing. But this is the time to invest. So if there's investors out there that are thinking, hey, you know, when is the best deal? Because I've seen this change so quickly. I've been doing this 17 years, and the markets go like this all the time. And it takes the knowledge and the guts to actually move forward and say, hey, I think right now is an excellent time to buy. I'm going to come in and try to get a really good deal, especially for the people that need to sell, that are dying to sell. They're going to keep dropping their price, and, you know, you can just take it away.
And not just in the condo market, in the single family house market in Arlington, which is notorious for low inventory, there's actually more inventory on the market in Arlington right now compared to pre-Amazon HQ2 announcement. And I think what'll happen is 2019 will go down in history as just one of those years where it was the perfect storm of every single factor. You have arguably one of the largest companies you could ever ask for move to your own backyard. You have the decrease in inventory, the increase in demand, and it just creates this environment where when we look back at these numbers and these graphs that are literally hockey sticking, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'll throw the graph up, but condos, it's definitely time for a deal because we've seen condos appreciate so quickly, and in any market, condos are going to be the ones to appreciate the quickest, and they're going to be the ones to decrease in value the quickest as well. And it's so interesting because this is a perfect example of people trying to time the market. And, you know, I don't have necessarily anything against you if you're trying to time the market, but if you're trying to time the market and you got in and you're thinking, all right, I'm going to, you know, get in and then sell quickly. I mean, maybe you bought, you know, in 2018, sold in 2019. The article says that not many people did that. But if you bought thinking you're going to sell it, you know, for an exorbitant amount, well, all of a sudden, you know what happens. No one wants to live in condos. But now at this point, there's a great deal to be had in condos. And most people I hear from are like, well, I don't need a condo right now, so I'm going to sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And we saw this happen in 2005. Actually, I bought in 2005. I bought a condo in 2005. I was watching the market go insane at the time. And I thought, man, if I don't buy now, I'm never going to be able to afford anything. And this is a prime example of that. You cannot time this market. Don't go on your angst, go on when you're ready. And so I purchased that property in 2005. It actually dropped in value, and I sold it at a lower value than I purchased. I was fine, but still it was a lower value. And you think about the Arlington or the Alexandria or the Northern Virginia market, and you're like, oh, you actually sold it for less than you bought it for. That's an anomaly, but it happens. And so you have to be prepared for that. Don't think that you're going to flip it over, and be prepared that it drops in value. You can't think of these as short-term investments, because if you were buying a condo for renting it out, you were quick to find out that it was really difficult to rent out. And so this investment that you thought was going to be great, all of a sudden is like, holy crap, it's been on for 4 months and I can't get any renters in here. There's a lot of competition from all of the other big rental buildings, and there's tons of condos for rent in the area. So, you have to prepare for this. And we didn't really see it coming as bad as I think it got. But all of a sudden it happened. And, now we're sitting where we are. So there's a lot of people that are hurting, I'm sure, but it'll turn around.
Yeah. And, with any big company coming, there's always people that they don't want that for some reason. Maybe it's taxes, maybe it's another thing. And, we saw in Long Island City, AOC, the representative up in New York. Now, I don't know a lot about her, but I know that she vehemently did not like Amazon coming to Long Island City because of the tax breaks that were involved. Now, she since changed her position on that, but not before Amazon pulled out of Long Island City. But, the question is, okay, well, is there a net benefit, or is the county, the city, just giving everything away to a corporation that doesn't pay any taxes? And in Arlington County, well, let's take a look. What has Amazon been doing? Well, first of all, they've been providing meals from local restaurants like Freddy's. You ever been to Freddy's Beach Bar in Crystal City?
I have been to Freddy's, yeah.
Amazon has bought 1,700 meals from Freddy's. This is an article from May for frontline workers. They've also contributed to local charities and local affordable housing funds. Now, I don't have all the tax numbers, and 1,700 meals from a beach bar on 23rd Street is not even a drop in the bucket, but they're buying some goodwill here, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a total fan. And it's helping everybody in the area get through tough times, right? I mean, that's what we need at this point. And right now, if you go look at Amazon, I'm sure it's still a humongous hole in the ground. It was a couple months ago. I think what's happening now with the workers.
They're on track. So Amazon is on track to hire 25,000 new workers. They have made it clear that is still their plan. The construction for Metropolitan Place is still on track. They are moving ahead full steam. So while all these companies are working virtual, that may be the case in 2020, 2021, whenever, Amazon is still pushing forward. In fact, they recently bought a hotel on Army Navy Drive for $148 million. Now, why does Amazon need a hotel? They don't. They're going to tear it down and do what as they please with it. But everything that's happening in the world is not stopping Amazon. I mean, just think about where Crystal City would be if not for Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone through tough times, and we were experiencing some. I felt right before Amazon, I thought our market was starting to fall a little bit, right? And it was like October 2018, somewhere around there. I had a couple listings on. We had a couple listings on, and we started feeling it's hitting that fall market. We're not getting as much traction. Then as soon as they announced, bam, those things sold. So had we not had that influx, we would have had a totally different market. And then 2020 hits, a lot worse market.
Yeah, the listing days on markets, active properties were definitely trending upward as you head into November, December of 2018. But obviously, once the announcement happened, everything, not only in Arlington, but in the surrounding jurisdictions, decrease. Now, in the article on Realtor.com, which I will link in the YouTube video, they include Northern Virginia as Arlington, Alexandria, Spotsylvania.
Where in the heck is that?
Warren County. If I paid you $100, could you find Warren County on a map?
I would just go south somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
It's Front Royal.
Front Royal. Oh, that's pretty far out there, man.
I looked it up.
That's far. That's what?
Yeah.
That's an hour and some.
I don't think Front Royal is Northern Virginia.
No,
but
you're not going to be hitting.
Rappahannock. What are we doing? It's actually a really interesting article that shows the this more so shows two events to me.
Yeah.
One, HQ2, and two, everything that's happened in 2020. And, looking at the map, which one is more significant? And people will tell you on the West Coast that Bellevue is the new HQ2. Amazon has silently, I think they're building a lot of commercial space in Bellevue, and they're handing out a lot. I shouldn't say handing out. They're delivering a lot of jobs to Bellevue, but I still feel like 25,000 new jobs is a solid amount for Arlington HQ2.
Absolutely, and it's you've seen what it's done to our market. I think I believe that hopefully next year is a different thing for our market as a whole, and we see positivity back. We see Amazon coming in with the workers, things starting to progress. Once that building is built, it's going to revitalize that area, not even revitalize it, but just bring energy into it. So if we see certain things in early next year that we're all hoping for, then that'll boost the market, in my opinion.
What are you seeing in the future for Crystal City National Landing new condos? Because there are some exciting new Crystal City condos that will be coming online in 2024 along Crystal Drive, and it's actually a blessing in disguise that that's not happening this year or next year or even 2023, because I think most new construction salespeople would agree with me, but new construction condos are a little on the slow side right now.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing to predict right now because we're in such a lull for condos. So if we can see some sort of end to 2020's fiasco, right?
Do you think 3 years is enough to kind of reset the feeling on condos?
I think so. I hope so. I'm an optimist, right? I sell condos. I sell a lot of condos, and so I would hope that it changes. Next year is going to be the real test. I think that once everything calms down and we feel safe again, then people are going to start buying, and that's when the real investment starts, right? That's when I'm going to time the market. That's when that's going to happen, right? And so once people feel safe, you're going to have your investors say, all right, well, hey, these condos are a pretty good price right now. Let's jump in, because then Amazon's going to swoop back in, and that's going to start churning the market again, I believe. Not the boost that we saw before, but it'll start helping that condo market, because how are people, if they're going to be commuting into that place, do you want to live in Spotsylvania County and commute, or do you want to live right along the orange or blue line and hop right over? And I think that's going to have a revitalization to the problem that we see now. New condos in Crystal City, man, I haven't seen that in, National Landing, whatever, ever.
Yeah.
And I can't name one that has happened since I've been doing this that's been new in that area. So that is going to be something to watch, because, in that Crystal City area, most of those condos were built in the 80s, 70s, 80s. I think that's about it, right?
You have the Eclipse.
The Eclipse, yeah, that's right on the Arlington Alexandria border. That is one. You're right.
That's all I got.
That's all.
That's all I got.
And that was years ago now. It's the newest thing there. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch, and watch the price points, because it's a great location. It's.
Do you think Aurora Highlands and the single-family home neighborhood in 22202, do you think that's going to take on a Clarendon, Lyon Park, Ashton Heights vibe, where Clarendon is Crystal City and Ashton Heights is Aurora Highlands?
I think it'll be a long time before that. I believe. Clarendon's just Clarendon, but we've seen in D.C., right? Use DC as an example. Different corridors in DC have completely revitalized, and they're so cool now, right? They've changed so much. So who is the prime company that will change something into that? And that's Amazon, right? And so we have it right in that hub. So Aurora Highlands, it's hard to envision, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to envision. I don't think it's going to have quite the same impact. I think Clarendon and those single family markets will continue to rise and grow and be, quote, I don't want to say better, but like, the way it is. And that area will probably be a little bit behind, but
a lot of old houses in Alcova Heights, Aurora Highlands, a lot of old bungalows that need to be torn down, but a lot of old bungalows need to be torn down in Ashton Heights as well.
Exactly.
The thing is, everyone wants to be the new Clarendon. Potomac Yard wants to be the new Clarendon. Crystal City wants to be the new Clarendon. Why not be the first national landing?
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think it's prime and ready to go. There's bigger lots there. There's older houses primed to be torn down. Builders, I'm sure, are going after those things like crazy.
Yeah, end of the day, single-family house market in Arlington, and anything could happen in Arlington, and the single-family house market is still going to be competitive. But if you are looking in the condo sector, this is going to take years. So it may be a difficult time to sell in 2021, so be sure you're priced accordingly. But there is a tremendous opportunity on the buy side. There's opportunities in every market, and I'm excited to see what 2021 has to offer.
Yeah, I think the opportunities there. Condo market is ripe for the picking. And the single family market, man, I lived it. It was deadly. It was so competitive and just not fun, honestly. And I think I found something that wasn't on the market, and that's the way I was able to get in. But there's so many people out there that couldn't find something, and it's tough to find the right thing in Arlington.
Still waiting for my commission check for finding you that property.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I owe him. Jeez, I didn't think he was going to remember.
There you have it, guys. Another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. Would love to know your thoughts, comments. Be sure to drop them in the comments section below. And for Shawn and myself, we'll see you next time.
Take care.